Welcome to Living in Provo, Utah. Today we're going to talk about a question we get asked all the time. Is it better to rent or buy in this market?
Is this your first time to the channel Living in Provo, Utah? Well, on this channel, we cover everything about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, the good, the bad of living in Provo, Utah and the Utah Valley area. We're covering everything from Saratoga Springs to the north, Provo Warm in the middle, to Santaquin on the south, and everything in between. We have people that reach out to us all the time about moving to the area, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking of moving in 9 days, 90 days, or even 9 years, reach out to us. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us a message. I'd absolutely love to help you get the information you need to make a smooth move to the Provo, Utah area. My name is Scott.
My name's Valerie, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap on that notification bell to be notified every time we drop a new video.
Okay, so in this video, we want to address some of the pros and cons of renting versus buying. But before I do that, I want to give you some statistics. Some are Utah related and some are national related. So for Utah, the median home price currently sits right around $534,000. Now, to put that in perspective as far as what that's going to cost you monthly, assuming you have a 7% interest rate and a 30-year fixed loan on that loan amount of $534,000, you'd have a monthly principal and interest payment of $3,552. Now, keep in mind, that does not include your property tax payment that would be part of your monthly payment and your homeowner's insurance payment. So it'd be a little higher than that. Now, a typical rent payment on a home that's in that same price range would be right around $2,900 to $3,500, roughly in that range. So also, I just want to say that nationally, 34.2% of people rent, while 65.8% of people are homeowners. And I just need to give a little disclaimer that I'm a licensed real estate broker. What I'm sharing with you are my opinions about whether it's better to buy or rent. But if you have questions, tax questions or legal questions, then consult a tax attorney or a tax accountant or an attorney for any of your legal questions or tax accountant questions. So with that, let's talk about some of the pros and cons. Hey, don't forget to listen to the end because I'm going to give you my opinion on whether I think it's better to buy or rent in whatever market it is.
In your opinion, what are some of the pros of renting?
All right, so when I was thinking about this, there were a couple things that came right front to mind. The first thing is, as a renter, you don't have the repairs. So if that furnace goes out, the landlord's got to take care of it. If that air conditioner goes out and the house isn't habitable because it's too hot, the landlord's got to take care of that repair. So that's really a huge pro to being a renter. You don't have the maintenance of a home. All right, so I gave you one of my pros. What do you think are some of the pros of being a renter?
Well, I think that you have the flexibility to move if you want to. You're not stuck in one place and you don't have to sell the home if you need to move somewhere, so you have that flexibility. Also, you might have a cheaper monthly payment than if you went out and bought a house and financed it yourself.
Those are some great points. Okay, so we covered a couple of the renting pros. What do you think are some of the cons to renting?
Well, you can't do what you want. You can't paint it or, decorate it with a million pictures. You probably can't have that many holes in the wall. If you're a pet owner, most of the time you can't have a pet. And if they do allow it, it could be an extra monthly charge.
So are you telling me that a lot of landlords do not want you to paint your bedroom Pepto-Bismol pink?
No, they don't. As a landlord, we've had that done and I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah, so you're going to be restricted in what you can do with the house. I mean, it's the landlord's house, and if they don't want it pink, you can't paint it pink. You got to get permission for those things. Valerie mentioned pets. You may not be allowed to have pets. A lot of landlords are very concerned about pet damage, so they're not going to let you have a pet in the house.
They can also restrict the number of cars you can have on the property, so you're not a burden to the neighbors. Landlords are concerned about that. And your rent payment can rise, like the landlord, when your lease renews, he can raise the rent if he wants to.
I was actually trying to find the statistic on this, on what the average number of years is that rents double, because I went to a class once and it said every 7 years is the average that it doubles. I couldn't find the actual statistic on that, but when I was looking back at some of the properties that we've rented before and thinking of the rents that we were getting 7 years ago compared to now, that's pretty darn true. So that's one of the cons, is your rents, they're going to raise over the years. So, I don't know if you mentioned this one. The other thing is, if the landlord decides to sell the house.
Yeah, if they decide to sell the house or not renew your lease, then you have to find a new place to live. So it doesn't always feel like the most stable place to be.
Okay. Well, there you have it. There's some of our pros and cons to being a renter.
Okay, what do you think some of the pros are of being a homeowner?
All right, well, first of all, I had to go to the statistics to just see what is the average net worth difference between a homeowner and a renter. And according to CNBC News, a homeowner is 40 times or has 40 times more net worth than a renter. I mean, that's a big, big difference. They're saying that the average homeowner has $255,000 in net worth, while a renter has $6,300. That's huge. So I guess the biggest thing is equity. You get the equity. So when you're renting, you don't get any of that equity. You're paying the landlord month after month after month. And meanwhile, that home value is going up, 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 and up. Do you get any of that? No, you don't get any of it. I had a friend once that rented for 12 years. About every single year, I took them what I thought was a great deal. In fact, the first time I took them a house that I thought would be a great deal for them is somewhere around $230,000. And they're like, oh, it looks nice, but that's not my dream home, and that's not what I really want. And just year after year, they kept doing that. Every year, I kept taking them a new deal. Finally, after 12 years, I got them a deal. And in that market, it was a deal, and it was $330,000. It's at $100,000 more by them waiting. Now they've been in that home like 3 or 4 years, and that home's worth over $500,000. So that is the biggest thing, is if you're a homeowner, that equity is yours. That difference between what you owe the bank and what it's worth is all yours. Now, one of the other things I was thinking of too is you can do what you want.
Yeah.
If you want to paint your home Pepto-Bismol pink, you can do it, assuming you're not in an HOA and it's on the exterior. But otherwise, if you want to remodel the interior or do things to upgrade your house, you can do it. Another thing too, I was thinking of, one of the things is when you go to sell the house, I believe it's called the Homestead Act. And basically, couples can take up to $500,000 that they don't have to pay taxes on if they have that much of a gain when they sell their property. Singles, it's $250,000. So you can live in a house. If you have to live in the house every between 2 and 5 years, something like that. So if you sell it before 2 years, you're going to have a pretty big capital gain tax on that home. But if you sell it after 2 years, if you're making $200,000 on it and you're a couple, you're not going to have to pay tax on that. And again, consult with your tax accountants on that. But that's how I understand the law. Finally, the big pro that I'm thinking of is you have a fixed monthly payment. Whereas we talked about with rent, your rent can keep going up year after year. When you have a fixed rate mortgage for a payment, it's fixed. That principal and interest is not going to change for the life of the loan. The only thing that will change and cause your payment to go up a little bit would be what, Valerie?
Taxes and insurance.
Yeah. So your property tax is probably going to go up every year, and your homeowner's insurance policy, they usually go up a little bit. A little bit. But overall, I mean, you got a fixed rate. You got a fixed payment. You don't have to worry about the landlord raising your rent $500, $600, $700, whatever it may be. So I think those are some really good pros for why it's great to be a homeowner. Anything else that you can think of that I missed?
I can't think of it right now.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some cons. Valerie, what do you think are some of the cons of being a homeowner?
Well, when things break, you have to fix it. Repairs are all on you. You have to find somebody and get it done, arrange all that yourself. And selling your home can be challenging.
When you talk about repairs,
yes.
We have a furnace that's going out right now.
Yeah.
We got to take care of that.
It's thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's not a fun part of being a homeowner. So one tip that I like to tell people to do is you may want to consider carrying a what do we call those?
Home warranty.
A home warranty on your home. They're about $500. Covers it never covers 100% of the loss on anything, but it can help offset that the sting of the entire bill. So just a little tip for you. So what are some of the other things about the cons of being a homeowner?
to get equity out of your home, you would have to sell the house, refinance the house and pull cash out, or get a line of equity.
Yeah, that's kind of, to me, I thought of that as a con, because I mean, if you've got all this equity you talk about, but if you want to get it, it's kind of tough. You're going to have to get a line of equity from a bank, for credit union most likely, or you're going to have to refinance. Maybe you've got a great rate and you don't want to lose that rate, or you maybe have to get a second mortgage. So it's a little tougher to tap into that equity, but it's still there. Anyway, these are some of the pros and cons of what it's about being a homeowner versus a renter. What do you think are some of the pros and cons of being a homeowner or renter? Make a comment down below and let us know. Okay, surprise, surprise. This is what I said I'd give you at the end, was my opinion on whether it's better to own versus rent. I mean, what do you think I'm going to say? I've been a homeowner for, how long have we been homeowners?
23 years.
23 years. Absolutely the best decision we made was to buy a home for our family. Definitely, we don't have to worry about a landlord kicking us out because they decided to sell the house. We've done lots of improvements to the home that we're in now. We didn't have to go get permission from a landlord. We have a dog. We love having a dog. We didn't have to get permission from our landlord. I think the benefits far, far outweigh renting. Now, there are some situations where maybe renting's best for you, and I have no problem, if you want to have a console, I have no problem saying, you know what, right now may not be the best time for you to rent, but otherwise, if you can find a way to get into a home, I'm always going to be an advocate for you getting into that home, whether it's your dream home right now or not. One of the biggest ways that people build wealth is they get into something now, they build the equity, take that equity and move it up to a higher investment, and that's how they kind of move up the scale in houses. So I'm a big proponent of doing that. What are some of your opinions on all this? What do you think?
I think it's always better to get in now. I mean, houses are always going to cost more the longer you wait, because that's just the way it goes. So
yeah,
it's better to buy a starter house. You're not going to start with your dream house. It's just not possible for most people. So just start with something small and then gain some equity in that. Wait a few years, sell it, and with that equity, buy something better, and you can move up to your dream house eventually.
Beautiful point. Hey, appreciate you watching this video about the pros and cons of being a homeowner versus a renter. Again, make a comment down below. Let us know what you think about whether it's better to rent versus own. And look, if you're looking to make a move or buy your first home in 9 days, 90 days, or the next 9 years, please reach out to us. Give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email. We'd love to help you make that smooth move to the Provo, Utah area. I would love to help you find that house. Valerie would love to help you find that financing. And don't forget to
like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell to get our newest videos whenever they come out.
We'll catch you on the next video.